I want to wish you blessings, blessings, Lughnasadh blessings, and just lots of love and light for the rest of the summer ahead. And one of the things I also wanted to mention and be really sure that I in the description box below was to acknowledge, and I see Jen's here, our friends in the southern hemisphere who are moving into a very different season. They're moving into, I'm just thinking of the Wildwood Tarot moving into the season of air. So they're celebrating Imbolc today, Imbolc, and the blessings of Brigade. So I want to say that. I am going to show you some cards this morning. We're going to talk a little bit about the mini harvest that I did this morning. I don't know, I'm just going to kind of riff and have a chat with you and just drink in the blessings and the celebration that is all around me. And Richie's here, first time, I believe, live on my channel. May have been here for Tarathon, but that was a busy day. So I want to say hi and welcome to Richie. Scott, hello, good morning to you. And Jen, yes, it has been. Oh, Jen and Richie are talking hello. Okay, good. Yes, it's been a while for you guys to connect. Okay, so I got up this morning and, well, as I was thinking about coming on and sharing with you some of my own harvest and what these marks, these celebrations on the wheel mean to me, I just wanted to tell you some of my stories and kind of what this time of year is about for me. And I mentioned I live on the west coast of Canada, and where I live is it's a really beautiful place. I'm blessed with a rainforest behind me, the ocean on the other side. My property where I live is not on the water; it's just a few minutes away. And right now, when I go down to the ocean on the way back up, there's this beautiful patch of blackberries. There's blackberries everywhere. They're prolific, of course. But if the blackberries are hit by the full afternoon sun, they are luscious and they are so sweet. None of that tart blackberry. And we have already been harvesting them on a near daily basis. And so the sweetness of blackberries is with us. And also I was doing a little bit of research and realized that blackberry is also very special to Brigade. So I want to honor the blackberry leaf and bush and flower and all of her aspects. And just really, because that also connects us to Brigade, Saint Brigade, and Imbolc. So I just thought that was a really lovely plant to offer up this morning, connecting Jen and all of our other friends in the Southern Hemisphere who are not in the heat of summer. Welcome. I see Anne is here. Hello to Anne. Welcome. Okay. The other thing too is, I eat these blackberries. I love to eat them. I love to eat them raw. We, of course, bake with them and put them in salads and so forth. But they're such a lovely, lovely gift. And one of the things my daughter was saying was, what a weird berry they are. Have you actually ever, where's my camera? Have you actually ever dissected a blackberry and looked inside? Because I think if we did that, we probably, I don't know, they're the weirdest little things, weirdest little fruits. They're kind of amazing, really, truly. And I probably shouldn't play with the fruit and the flowers too much because I'm going to draw cards. But it's so sweet, so sweet. Donna, hello, welcome. Rabbit, and happy Sunday. Did you put up a... I'm really, really glad you found me live too. And Dancing Soul Sister, hello, welcome. Okay, so the calendula that are here on the table, I planted last year outside my front window. I planted some seeds and I got a small harvest of calendula, and they have come back like wildfire. So we are going to be able to do a whole bunch of tinctures and all kinds of amazing things with calendula this year because we just have such an abundance of it. But on a really simple level, what I do with the calendula is just take one flower and put the leaves in the salad. It's so pretty. I do that. I mean, I put nasturtiums in my salad too, but calendula is really a beautiful symbol of Lughnasadh, and I just wanted to show you these. Oh, I see there's just a few little tiny bugs in these flowers, and the ones I have are very, very orange. I don't know. I tried to do a new background for this today, but it has the yellow calendula, and I don't know if it's the exact same flower, but these are just amazing. So we're going to have tinctures and salves, and my youngest daughter makes lip balms, and so we will use that in the lip balms and try to preserve as much of the calendula as possible. So I'm really curious what you do to preserve your herbs and flowers and so forth, because I don't know, I'm always looking for new things to do. The other thing that my daughter does, my 24-year-old daughter who's still living with me, she takes the calendula and mint, which I've got on the table here. Mint is another beautiful offering that is in so much abundance at this time. Thank you, Shannon. I am going to put some calendula and some mint in my morning tea before I come on for our lesson. So after this, I'm doing a bonus lesson for my Tarot Foundations group, and I'm going to have some probably infused water instead of tea. But yeah, thank you very much, Shannon. So also there's a lot of roses that are blossoming right now. And so she collects the roses and puts rose petals and calendula and mint into the water. And so we've been having infused water every single day. And it is just such a blessing and such a treat. And so this harvesting, that has become quite a habit. And I got to say, it's really started with my second daughter, who initiated the garden last year. I had a few herbs and things, but nothing like I have now. I have all kinds of vegetables, and we've been eating lettuces and some root vegetables. Of course, peas are almost done. We've harvested the garlic. I don't know, there's just so much abundance in the garden, and I'm so very, very grateful for all that we have. It is like we have enough food that we don't need to buy too much at the farmer's market these days. It's amazing, and it's so simple. I'm actually blown away. So I feel I'm a rookie gardener, but this has been really, really great. So I thought, so over here, this is the Sun card from the Llewellyn Tarot. And I wanted to share a few cards with you. And this is Lou. This is Lou of Llewellyn Tarot. And I wanted to read to you from Anne Maria Ferguson's notes about Lou. Beyond the tale in the Mabinogion, we have little in the way of stories of Lula gifts, meaning bright one of the skillful hand. He was said to have grown at twice the rate of a normal child, could manage any horse, and was perfect in feature, stature, and form. Yet we glimpse a broader view of his character in looking to his Irish equivalent in Lugh of the Long Arm, who also is skilled with the spear and sling, as well as being multi-talented, declaring himself a warrior, bard, magician, healer, cupbearer, etc. As a solar deity, his festival is Lughnasadh, celebrated August 1st, during the peak growing season, when the wheat ripens under the full strength of the sun. He is the warm masculine consort to the feminine flowering earth. Tradition credits Lu with the invention of the game Fitchel, which is likened to chess, and the harvest festival is celebrated with sport and games of reason. As a shining, wholesome hero, some of his attributes are taken on by later heroes such as Lancelot in skill or Gawain in his waxing and waning solar powers. One of the things I love about the Llewellyn Tarot for the major arcana, of course, are the backstories. And this particular sun card just really, I love the sun card. The art is so beautiful. This is a trimmed copy. I have another copy with the borders on it, but it's just so very, very lovely. And so I thought we could build a bit of a tableau here and then do a reading. This is the Empress card from the Herb Crafter's Tarot. And so this solar energy of the sun, of course, we're celebrating the harvest. And I think that the Empress card, Gaia herself, perhaps some of the Queen of Pentacles cards could come into this as well, too, really helps us to understand the relationship, the beautiful relationship between the sun and the harvest in the season that we are celebrating. And so I want to ask you what you are harvesting and what Gaia is handing to you. What do you have growing in abundance? Oh, I see more people are coming in. Anne uses her herbs for tea. It's so easy. I have a cupboard full of dried herbs and just putting a few into a pot, mixing them freely, not getting too concerned about if I get it perfect or not, but just by hand blending things together. It's so amazing. Yeah, I saw somebody else. Alex is here. Hello to Alex Hopkins. Welcome. Hello, Nancy. Welcome. I'm glad to hear that, Shannon. I'm glad to hear that. Today we're doing a lesson on 369, and I'm really excited to share some of my reflections on that. Who else have we got here? Yeah, okay, good. So what was I saying? I was saying that this connection between the divine feminine and divine masculine energy is, we can't extricate one from the other. They are eternally connected. And when I started to reflect on this as I began my Shakti, one of my Shakti sadhanas, this is one of the big lessons, was to understand that the abundance of Gaia, the abundance of the earth, was not possible without the divine masculine energy, the unmanifest. So we can't have the manifest without the unmanifest, and they work together behind the scenes all the time. And I just want to feel really, really grateful for that. So in the Herb Crafter's Tarot, which is the one that you see beside Lou, we have a rose, and a honey-colored work table is covered with wild roses. Fall leaves are arranged in a crown, and the seeds of fat, juicy rose hips spill out next to pink, heart-shaped petals. Buds and flowers lie in a honeycomb, and red chilies form a triskele pointing to a flaming heart. A stone bead of the woman of Willendorf, a representation of the Great Mother, is strung onto a rosary. Healing the heart heals the world. I love that. And so I want to ask you about your favorite Empress cards, and what is it about the Empress that heals your heart? You know, what is it about the Empress that connects you deeply to the universal mother? What is it about the Empress that connects you to the abundance of this season? And I know there's lots of controversy about Empress cards, and I was thinking, what Empress cards do I have that don't have a human form, that connect us more deeply to the energy of the divine feminine? And one of the decks that I think really does this so very, very beautifully is the Wild Unknown Tarot. And I thought I had both the, oh, it's because I'm doing 369. That's why this is on the table. So in the Wild Unknown Tarot, the Empress is represented by a deciduous tree, and we see the night, right? So we see the black, the yin energy. We see the abundance of the foliage represented by the pink energy. And there's a touch of softness to this, but there is so much strength. So much strength. And if we, rather than the Sun card, if we look to the Emperor card as her partner in life, we see that we cannot separate the darkness from the light, that they are part of the same cycle, the sun and the moon. And for the Emperor card, we have the strength, right? We have the strength and the power of an evergreen tree standing tall over the land. And so this card really speaks to me of that balance between divine masculine and feminine energy. And so one of the things I want to invite you to do is to look to your Emperor and Empress cards this week. As you, or even, today, yesterday, some of you already have been through this celebration, and ask yourselves, what is it about the abundance of the season that speaks to me in an Empress card? And as many of you know, I have put a lot of time and energy into the Wildwood Tarot this year, and doing some lessons and trying to make it a more accessible deck for many people, because I found that the teachings in the Wildwood have been so very, very beautiful. And so I'm going to share a little bit of that with you as well today too. And with this deck, it also allows me to integrate both the northern and southern hemisphere experience too. I think today I'm going to do some kind of a combined reading with the Herb Crafters, which is really both the herb. So this is interesting. So both the Herb Crafters and the Llewellyn Tarot are decks that I pull out around this time of year. I just feel like they fit in so beautifully. So here's another reflection. So this is something that comes up if you've been studying or practicing the Wheel of the Year for some time, you're fully aware of this. If you work with the Wildwood Tarot, you're also aware of this relationship. Now, for those of us who, if you directly follow the energy of the solstices, this doesn't quite make sense, but if you follow the Wheel of the Year, this is the time of the year where we recognize that this is the beginning of the ascent of the energy of the divine feminine, of the moon. And this is where the sun energy begins to lessen. And if you study the Wildwood Tarot, you know how that the sun sits on the top half of the Wheel of the Year, and the moon sits on the bottom half of the Wheel of the Year. So as we enter into Lughnasadh, Lamas, it is the last stages of the sun. And I believe it is right when we get to the horizontal line that the moon starts to ascend. And so there's this underlying energy of always when we are in these earth-centered decks, to reflect upon the moon and the sun, and to always see them together and working together, and to be in awe of both of them, equally be in awe of both of them. As we as we enter into this season, let's start with this card. So in the Wildwood Tarot, the theme is, sorry, I am trying, there we go. This is the Woodward. And the Woodward sits here with his lynx, and the eagle is overhead. And some of these symbols you have seen in the deck before, and he is inviting in this season. So this card is loosely related to the Strength card in the RWS Tarot. And I want you to look at the relationship between the Woodward and the lynx, and how I don't believe they're actually touching each other. Their bodies might be close to each other, but there's quite a different feel in this Strength card. And for those of you that have August birthdays and connect to Strength, you might really resonate with this particular message. So I'm just going to share this with you. The Woodward motions us to sit. And I love this invitation, especially in the heat of the summer. You know, in the heat of the summer, we need to find shade and sit in the tree. And in this deck, so as we move into the season of autumn in this deck, so that the is a little bit forward from where I am, but there's something about this invitation that I really enjoyed it. Reading this again this morning. The Woodward motions us to sit. We welcome the cooling dampness of a dew-soaked grass, mindful of the new and watery influence of vessels after the summer heat of bows. Here, Woodward motions to the eagle that flies high on the thermal currents far above us. From such great heights, from such distances, the hunter searches for his prey. And if you are not the hunter, you are hunted, my friend. Hello, Gerald. Welcome. You may not be trailed by wolves or bears, but you are stalked by the vast plains of the years, by fear of loss, change, or illness. His voice tails off, his gaze firmly fixed upon us, and links, stretches, and yawns. We shall meet him later on our journey. This is the time, continues the Woodward. This is when you make a stand to run from those fears no longer. When you turn to face them, I will be at your side. I will be the strength and fortitude in your soul that enables you to say, I shall fear no more. There's so much juice in this book. This is from the A Year in the Wildwood Tarot. But the beauty of this particular Strength card gives us the energy to understand the tower. And I think a lot of us in the heat of the summer can have tower moments. And this is an opportunity for us to really embrace this energy. Summer lightning storms. I don't know, there's a lot of things that are happening in the sky above right now. We're starting to move into shooting star season and so forth. And so the energy of the blasted oak, as the universe starts to awaken this kind of magical energy, really, really speaks to me. I put my bookmark in. So both the blasted oak and the Woodward mark this particular day and over the next week of Lughnasadh, and they teach us really something special about this particular season. And this has to do with fear, and has to do with letting go of fear. And I like that this particular time of year prepares us for some of the darker days ahead. So as we move into the darker days ahead, we feel a lot lighter. This is one of the nuances of working with the Wildwood that really, really speaks to me. This also is the time in the Northern Hemisphere of the Ace of Cups. And there's lots of decks out there that associate the Ace of Cups and the Suit of Cups with summer. And one of my very, very favorites, which I didn't pull up for you today, is the Victorian Fairy Tarot. I love that Suit of Cups, the way that the fairies and their families are playing and really, really enjoying the gift of water. And I know that is something that I treasure and have always treasured my entire life, was the gift and the blessings of water in the summer and the way that it feels. And I've shared with you a million times that temperance card from the Mary L. Tarot. That's how I feel. You know, sometimes I feel this beautiful union with my fiery self and the water. And other times I just feel like I don't know, like part mermaid just floating and being blessed and blessed by these qualities. And so yeah, so there's incredible layers that are built into this deck. And if this whole wheel of the year thing is new to you and you want to tap in more carefully with these energies, you can go back and look at my videos. There's a whole playlist on the Wildwood Tarot, and it really is special. And for there's all these different layers, these inner circles, and as we move into this season, we're also invited, where we connect with the seer, and the seer is the high priestess, and you see that cauldron in front of her, the element of water. And we're getting more into lunar energy at this time as well too. And so for those of us in the northern hemisphere, connecting with water and being so close, and what I want to say, so we're in the heat of the summer and we tend to think about water as a plaything, right? We can be on boats and we can go swimming and all of that, but all of this immersion into water and lakes and rivers is also really, really good for our soul and our spirituality. And so next time you go to the lake or the river and you take a picnic or you go for a swim, remember that you are immersing yourself in Gaia. You are immersing yourself. You're connecting your physical body with her, and you have this potential to, you can say a prayer, you can work on your intuition. It's just such easy access at this time of year. It's really lovely, really lovely. So for Jen and those of you in the other side of the world, on the inner hub of the Wheel of the Year, we have the shaman. And so the shaman is not in the water, the shaman is on the land, and his tools are more of a practical nature. He represents the outer world, where the seer represents the inner world. So as you dive into the water, jump in off the dock and go into that inner world, really embrace the body, embody the energy of the seer, of the high priestess. And in the southern hemisphere, when we can't be in the water at this time of year because it's too cold, then take advantage of the external world. And these are the tools of the shaman and the path of the shaman, and all that is offered to us there. We have the Ace of Arrows, which I may not have on the table, a lot of cards hanging out here. This is a season of arrows. And I do have it here. There we go. We have the Ace of Arrows. The breath of life, right? This is the breath of life. And so to drink in this season, the potential of any life that can be made manifest as early spring moves towards you wherever you are. Yeah, hi Mimi, welcome. And Kristen, hello, hello. Lovely to see you guys here. I am just going to pause. And Sarah's here as well too. Hello to Sarah. Thank you for posting the Wildwood playlist. I appreciate that, Gerald. Okay. Yeah. And so who is calling you forward but the ancestor? And so the ancestor steps up, and the ancestor and the shaman are so beautifully, beautifully connected. And so this is an invitation into a new path, into a new journey, a new season, early spring, and you can see the um, the sunrise behind the ancestor here, and this gorgeous path moving forward. There's so many beautiful connections in this deck, and also we see that we have the two pillars here, which really kind of speak to a high priestess kind of energy. I think I have a bug crawling on me. I've been out harvesting blackberries this morning, and anything could be crawling on me. Um, the two pillars here, these two beautiful birch trees. And when I look at this invitation, and I know that the seer sits on the other side, it just invites all these beautiful connections. So I thought what I would do now is, do a reading. And I'm I want to focus on the energy of Lu and Lughnasadh and ask. I don't know. I want to ask. What do you want to ask about this? Perhaps we should do a reading for Lughnasadh. Let's pull a few cards for Lughnasadh, and then let's pull a few cards for Imbolc. Okay, so we'll do both. And my hands are really, really sweaty. So, okay. So I'm going to, I think I will use the Llewellyn Tarot. I think I will do that. I will leave Lu out as a significator, so the Sun card is missing from the deck. And Gerald. Okay. And I cannot riffle shuffle my mini deck, which is too bad. Okay. Okay. So this early harvest season, the abundance. And I think one of the lessons that I've really picked up from the Wildwood Tarot is to share my abundance, to be grateful for the abundance, to make sure that everyone touches the energy of the abundance, that it's not hoarded in any way, that even the preserves are shared. There's something about that to keep the energy flowing that is really, really important for everybody's healing. And so I want to ask if, you know what I want to do? I want to tap into this is what's going to connect us. This is what's going to connect us. Where did that ancestor card go? Okay. I'm going to put the ancestor card. I'm going to move my beautiful harvest over a little bit. I'm going to put Lu here as a focal point. I'm going to put the ancestor card down on the table. And this is what is going to unite us. This is what's going to unite Jen. Who else is from the Southern Hemisphere that is in the chat this morning? Is there anyone I recognize from? Anna's not here. Let us know if you are also in the Southern, I point down, in the Southern Hemisphere. So what I am saying here is that the ancestor card in the Wildwood Tarot welcomes in Imbolc, the season of arrows. The Llewellyn Tarot celebrates Lughnasadh, which is being celebrated in the Northern Hemisphere at this time. And so there is a connection between these two cards. And where I was going with my question was, what do the ancestors want us to know? How do the ancestors want us to, what do the ancestors want us to know about our connection? You know, north and south, east and west is geographically we're apart, but we are together. And so is there a message of connection? That's my question. Is there a message of connection to help us deepen our understanding of exactly that? Okay, that's what I want to know. You're the only one awake in the southern hemisphere. That's okay. Well, I appreciate that you're the only one awake. Anne is in Norway, so Anne is in the evening. Okay. Okay, just cards flying everywhere, and I feel like this card deck isn't very well shuffled, so just bear with me. And if you can build on that question and add some language around the energy of that question in the chat, that would be great. There we go. Got to get a ribbon shuffle in there somehow. But I feel like I already know what the answer is to this. And part of that answer is what I was talking about earlier. It's about that connection of moon and sun and always working with both energies and being grateful for both energies and understanding how they work together. Wow, this is the universe card. That's kind of a beautiful, the answer is the universe. So what does that mean? That means we have it all. That means we are connected. We are together. We are. Of course we are. And I kind of like that this particular universe card balances out the energy of blue here. We have the sun and we have the darkness and we have the cold and we have the warmth. Yeah, that's really lovely. I have to put these calendulas back into the frame because they're just so beautiful. Okay, what else we got going here? Okay, so like so many of you have said, you can't make this stuff up. So I was talking about the energy of the Wildwood Tarot and how built into the system of the Wildwood for this particular celebration is the blasted, is it called the Blasted Oak? Is that from a different deck? I'm thinking that is the name from, no, it is called the Blasted Oak. Also in Tarot of the Hidden Realm and the Druidcraft Tarot, I believe that tower has an alternate name. So, but this is the card that marks the season. This is the card that really invites us to acknowledge our fears for what they are and to no longer ignore them. When I think of that tower card, that rumbling beneath the earth that starts to shake the foundation, sometimes it starts there. Sometimes it's a summer storm that's going to hit something from above, but this is an incredible, I'm going to say coincidence. It is no coincidence that we pull the same card in the Llewellyn Tarot that is a significator card for this season in the Wildwood Tarot. Okay, one more card. And notice that we have two major arcanas here, one for each hemisphere. The Blasted Beach. Thank you, Kristen. Oh my God. Okay, and so the third card is the Queen of Pentacles. Now, Anne, was it you, Anne, that drew the Queen of Pentacles in your reading? I'm just sorry, I've had a few different readings over in the Facebook group. there was a reading, and I think it was by Anne. And Queen of Pentacles was a significant card. It sat underneath the whole of the reading. And yeah, and this was like this card showing up here as the third card in this reading. It's like she's there. She's sitting underneath us. And what I was saying was we celebrate today all that is manifest. And we live in our abundance, and we be in the abundance. We be grateful for the abundance, and we allow the abundance to flow. And we see abundance in small ways, big ways. We not only see it in the harvest, but we see it in little gifts that are offered, kind words. And perhaps one of the things you can, do in the chat now or comments a little later is to list all the ways you recognize abundance. And what is so beautiful in this contrast again is that our third and final card for this reading balances the dark. So we see Shakti. We see Shakti in the darkness, in the night sky. We see Shakti in the abundance of what comes up in the earth, in the Queen of Pentacles. We see Shakti in the Queen of Pentacles herself. And then we see the magic of the unmanifest through the strike of lightning, through the unknown, through whatever it is that powers the water that flows over the structures in the Tower card. Amber is drinking her water behind me. Oh my goodness. So I don't know if Amber heard me say water or this is just another crazy thing, but the dog goes to drink her water when I'm talking about water and how important this recognition of these connections are. And so the unmanifest, right? So these beautiful glacial features that we see here or icebergs. I suppose these are icebergs if we are in the Llewellyn Tarot, right? These will be floating out on the sea. These are incredible structures. And when I reflect on icebergs and the teachings of the iceberg, the fact that just a little tiny bit of information is above the surface, but all of that energy lies below, and so much of it is unseen, is really, really powerful. So what do the ancestors want us to know? The ancestors want us to know that they have our back. They have been here before. They've done this. They've done this in ways that we can't even imagine. They have lived through famine. They have lived through all kinds of war situations, things that we probably couldn't even manage. So they want us to know that, yes, we are all connected. Yes, they are holding our backs and they can help us they support us as we navigate these fears and release these fears. And the more that we are able to release these fears, the more that we will know our abundance. The more that the more accepting of it that we will be. It's really hard to hold abundance. It's hard to hold the frequency of abundance if we hold fear. Yeah, so connection, release, and everything you ever wanted, everything you ever asked for is offered today. Yeah. Kind of special. Well, I want to thank you for joining me this morning. And I had every intention of taking some videos out in the blackberry bush, but my daughter did not get up. So you didn't get didn't get to see that, but I'm hoping to shoot some video of blackberry picking and some foraging and harvesting this summer and add that to my nature walks series. If you haven't seen that on my channel, I have several videos of me walking in the forest with Amber, sharing some of my favorite features of the rainforest. A couple of them go down to the beach. Yeah. So I will be back on with some of you in class in a little bit, and the rest of you, hopefully I'll see you on Tuesday for card comparisons and live readings. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Namaste. Happy Lughnasadh and Imbolc.